Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Toys R Us exclusive Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Starscream. For the package, you got a really cool image of Starscream on the back card, and then you have the open clamshell that fully showcases the figure as well as his accessories. On the back of the package, you have the actual instructions form as well as images of his robot and jet mode, and you can see that he's compatible with various Minicon weaponizers. You also have the instructions for the new Transformers RID video game, which is available right now at the App Store and Google Play. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Starscream open up and out of its packaging, and as many of you know, Transformers Robots in Disguise takes place several years after the events in Transformers Prime. So Starscream coming back to this franchise is actually pretty cool if you ask me. What you see though is that he doesn't really look like how he looked in the original Transformers Prime series. He has a much more animated kind of look, and a lot of his colors actually are a lot more G1 inspired. I like that. I didn't like Transformers Prime's interpretation of Starscream, but I think this one looks really cool. Coming in to take a closer look at him, as you can see, basically with the shape of him, you do have a much more Transformers animated sort of look, specifically in like the reverse kind of position of his wings. And then color-wise, it is a lot more in line with a lot of other incarnations, including the G1 look for him. For his accessories, you can see that he does have some little cannons that plug into the underside. They also dub his like his null rays. You can leave them attached to his arms here, but then what you're left with is the guns underneath like that, and when you put them on the ground, it then makes them kind of sit like that. So while you can transform them and leave them there, I don't recommend it. I don't think it looks all that good, and functionality wise it kind of ruins things a little bit. He doesn't really have any landing gear per se. I guess you could see this little knob sticking out here is kind of like a landing gear, but overall really cool looking design. And using another jet from RID for a comparison, here you have him next to the Warrior Class Windblade. So you can see that he actually is a little bit longer, and then wingspan wise is also a little bit wider. First transformation, it's actually fairly easy to do, but there are some really cool things with it. First, we're going to detach the guns from the underside of his wings, just like so. You want to bring the wings and just detach them from the sides, come around to the underside, and then these, what will become his forearm sections, tab in here. So you want to detach that and then just swing those out. Do that on this side as well. And then this section right here tabs in on a really strong kind of mushroom peg that, as you could hear, locks in there very solidly. I mean, it gives a very kind of loud click when it is tabbed in or detached. So now we're just going to swivel those up just like that. Take this whole back section here, lift this up, and just kind of hinge it out like so. Take these legs, you can then fold these. They kind of accordion on a double hinge right here, so you just bring those all the way down, and then you can separate those. Go ahead and make sure that you push the knee section all the way in. That locks that into place. Take the feet, point those forward just like that. Come around here to the arms. You want to then swivel these all the way up, and you got a little tab right here that's going to tab into that section right on the side of his torso. Push that in there very nicely and securely on both sides. Can rotate these arms down, kind of get them out of the way. Spin them here at the elbow. Rotate the hands around just like so. Go ahead and kind of keep this back. Take this whole section, this lifts up and then swivels down, and then you kind of have to hinge it where it fits underneath and through this whole back section. So it's a little bit tricky, but not too bad. And then you swivel this up, kind of lock that into place and rotate that around, and then these wings you can kind of position however you want. And when you're done, there you have Starscream in his robot mode. And in terms of the reds, the blues, yellows, and the black for his head, you have a much more classic representation in terms of the colors for Starscream. One aspect, though, that I don't know really how I feel about, I'm kind of on the fence, is the way that his wings are positioned. I'm more used to them being up and out, whereas these ones are pointed down. The more that I look at it, it doesn't really bother me all that much. It's just something that I have to get used to, I think. Coming in to take a closer look, to actually complete the look for him, you have his little arm cannons here, which can peg right there on the side. They're kind of small, again, from what I'm more used to seeing, but I don't think they look very bad. I actually think that the animation has a more blue color. I actually kind of like this color because it stands out a little bit more. But you can see color-wise, you got a lot of this gray plastic throughout there. You got some nice blue and red. On the side here, you have his little Decepticon logo with the little game code there. Head sculpt-wise, you can see a very nice-looking head sculpt. Again, very kind of Starscream-esque with the little vents on the side and everything. Overall, really a very, very cool-looking figure. Now, like I said, I'm not really used to the wings being swooped down. I guess you could put them down like that, and that actually kind of looks neat. It's your personal preference, but, I mean, you can put them up like that, which is a little bit more of what I'm used to, just not that high up. I guess you could, if you wanted to, detach this and kind of angle this down a little bit more, and you can kind of create that kind of look, which that kind of looks a little bit more what I'm used to. But that's not to say that the new look for him is really bad. Like I said, it's just gonna take some getting used to, I think. And honestly, as I look at it, I mean, if you keep it down like this, it kind of looks like this is a cape. You've got these giant shoulder pads right here. I mean, this guy really does kind of look like how the Coronation Starscream looked. That's kind of neat, if you ask me. I do kind of wish that there was some extra, paint detail kind of put in the abdomen area, maybe some actual silver paint or something like that. You can see the backpack collapses very nicely. You do have a bit of a hollow leg here, just as the way the transformation is. But in general, a really good looking figure. Now, for his articulation, the head is just on a swivel, so you're just getting it looking left and right. You can see that these little pieces down along the side do kind of limit it, so you can't get a full side-to-side motion. That's about as far as it's going to go. The shoulders here do have swivel, so you can rotate those around, and then they have a hinge right there, so you got two different joints to allow for his shoulder motion. He has a ball joint here, so you get a nice range of motion there, rotates as well. The wrist, I guess, move forward and back as part of the transformation. Despite the fact that it looks like he's got a rotation here at the waist, he actually doesn't. And then the hips here are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion there. They move in and out. They also have a little bit of a rotation on them, and then you do have the rotation at the upper part of the thigh. You got, I guess, two joints here at the knee, but one is mostly what you're going to be using. This piece here is supposed to stay tabbed in there, but you have to push it really hard to get it to stay in there. So you just have one hinge there, and then you got a forward and back ankle tilt. So nice range of motion on the figure. You can pretty much get him in whatever poses that you would want to. Unfortunately, like I said, the only real limitation is in the neck itself. And then for a comparison next to another Warrior class figure, here he is next to the Warrior class Windblade. And as you can see, he's actually a little bit bigger despite being the same size class. And as you can see, as a Warrior class figure, he comes in a little bit less than 5.5 inches tall. Now to transform him back, first again, we're going to remove these. You don't have to, but like I said, they're going to end up on his arms in the jet mode, and that doesn't really work very well. So take the wrists, fold them back like so, and then rotate them around so that the hands are pointing inward towards the hip area. So again, rotate that back, and then spin that around just like so. Kind of straighten out his head a little, come around here to the back, attach this, swivel that out like that, and then hinge this back section up and around, covering his face, and then lift this up again, kind of keeping that out of the way. Detach these side pieces, kind of hang those out towards the side. Do that on this side as well. Come around here to the back section, take the feet, point them forward just like that, and then unhinge them here, and then rotate them up towards the top section, and then you can tab them together right down here. Come around here to the back, bring this in, and then you have two little tabs on the sides here that actually tab in on the inside of the wing area. So kind of get these little wings out of the way, swivel that in, and push all the way in till you get those little tabs actually locking into the underside just like that. Come around to this side here, get these arms, and then bring this section down, and then you're going to take this little notch and you're going to push it in right there. You're going to hear a very loud snap when you get it right. Then you hinge these back, and then you kind of bend it at the elbow so that you can get these little slots right on the underside of his forearm, tabbing into these pieces. So just bring that up and then just fiddle with it till you get it just like that. Do that on this side as well. Bring this around, give this a nice little push, get that wing out of the way, push that in right there, bring this around, kind of bend this, and slot that into place just like so. Come around here to the top section, then take these wings. You got a little tab on the intersection of the wing that's going to slot in right there. So just bring that in, locks that into place. Do that here, locks that into place. Go ahead, come around here with the guns and the wings. And again, like I said, you could have left them there, but that means that's where they're going to be here in the jet mode. And I don't think that looks very good. So put that on right there. And there you have Starscream back in his jet mode. Overall, though, a really fun and cool looking toy. Color-wise, I think he does a really nice job of kind of staying true to the overall colors that we're used to with Starscream. Jet mode I don't mind all that much, because I got very used to it with Transformers Animated. Robot mode, though, is where I get a little bit iffy, but that's only because of the wings on his back. And honestly, I am getting a lot more used to it. I think a few extra paint applications to the overall figure would make him look much better, but for what it is, I think he turned out great. Now, as you can see in the beginning of the video, here in the US he is exclusive to Toys R Us. But he is in retail locations right now, so if you're looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.